Hello world, how's everybody doing? This is me, Glogger Guus again, speaking about the last part of my trip and what I've been doing in the meantime. So from day 105 until 138, it's been a while since I've done this, my one-time, one-shot movie. And well, we all know why that is, mainly because of the corona. The thing I've done, well, let me first tell me what I've done after Scotland. I went to Bristol where I lived for a while. I met Janusz, Nick, Don and a few other people. It's really nice. It's been a good time. I spent quite a few days there. It's good to see Bristol again and to see the house where I've been living before. It brought back memories, so that was good fun. It was all due to Fresh and Wild, which became Whole Foods store, and after that, I don't know, it's some other shops in there now on the top of Park Street. So Bristol's been a good time. Then I went to Totnes to Laura and I met her friends and so on, and we did some fun things, some walking, we did some how do you call it, football indoors. I don't know, but I was naked, I know that for sure. It was when I arrived I could do that sport straight away, so that was a good welcoming. After Totnes I went to Portsmouth. I met two great guys who I met in Australia, Mr. Chris and Mr. Gareth. I met his family as well from Mr. Garrett. It was really fun to be there. I made a little movie with croquettes that became bitter balls that became croquettes, that was it. So it was really fun with the little girls to do some cooking. And after all that I went back to London, which was my last stop of that trip. For the third time I went back to Mr. Sebastian, so thank you very much for hosting me for 3 times even. And of course all your housemates as well. But then the corona kicked in, or at least all the not so fun stuff. So I already planned to go home. I wanted to surprise my mom and dad, but well, they weren't very happy that I didn't tell them that I would come, because they were all a bit scared of the corona and such, and that we're not allowed to see each other and so on and so forth. But for me the corona brought only good things. Maybe that sounds really weird, but I wrote down family and I wrote down home. Those two words are very important for me, meaning all of a sudden you realize that family is something you should take care of, and all of a sudden it is possible that you cannot see your parents or you cannot see your grandma or grandfather due to circumstances you can do nothing about. So my brother was so kind I could stay in his house instead of to go to my parents, and I had a wonderful time with my nephew and nieces, and my sister also offered I could stay there, and she brought her daughter to my brother's place so we could babysit on all of them. Well, babysit, they're old enough, it's not really babysitting, but it's just having fun time with my nephew and nieces. So I really enjoyed it. I really appreciated that I could stay there for such a long time. So family is really important, and always take good care of your next to kin, and you know, make sure you have quality time with them, because you never know, I don't know, when borders get closed or when people get ill and you cannot go there, you need to be in quarantine, I don't know how you pronounce that word. And then there's another word I wrote down very big. It's the first word that I wrote down. It's home, and a little heart next to it, because in the corona time I met a lovely lady as well. I met her in the local supermarket, and I don't know, it just makes me quiet even. I've not expected to feel home again, especially not in my own hometown. And I met her, and I don't know, things just seemed right. Things just worked out perfectly. So there's a big change in my trip. My plan was to do my trip, to travel for about 2 years and then see where I end up. But now it has changed, meaning I know where I'm going to end up. But I will still do my trip. It's just going to be divided in different parts. This year I would have hoped to cycle with my mom to Santiago de Compostela. Unfortunately, due to 2 reasons, we cannot. First of all, the corona, but second of all, she had something on her lungs as well, so she's physically not fit enough to do that bike trip now. So the good thing is we can do it next year if she's still up for it. So I'm going to do at least 3 more trips, but they're going to be one every year. Well, I hope that's the plan, but you never know how things are going to change. So next year I hope to do the cycle trip with my mom to Santiago de Compostela. It's going to be an awesome trip. I don't know, my mom's going to go on an electric bike, me on a normal bike, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be 2 or 3 months, and well, I will post everything then as well. My second trip, or my other trip, is going to be the Trans-Siberia Express, so it's going to be Russia, Mongolia, China, and then I'm gonna go through Vietnam, Indonesia, New Zealand, and Australia and New Zealand. Then I'm gonna come back home again as with my lovely missus in my hometown. I keep being surprised in saying hometown that this is my hometown and where I'm coming back to, because I just didn't expect that at all when I started my trip about a year ago. And that's another thing I want to say as well. The third trip I want to do is the States. I know people from Los Angeles to New York and in between, and that's a trip I really want to do as well. So those 3 trips I will do, but it's going to be a while before I'm going to do them. The borders are closed, people are still getting coronaviruses and all such. I really feel sorry for everybody who didn't have a good experience during this period, but for me it was really good. Of course I wished it was different, that people could just do whatever they like, but I also hope that people learned a lot from this time, and that you really need to appreciate what you have and not what you do not have. So yes, all that being said, it's about a year ago that I quit my job, and I did this is my beautiful drawn cycle. About a year ago I quit my job at Philips. It was a really good job, but because of my divorce and a new job that I had internally in Philips, it was too much for me, so I gave up my job. And I decided to cycle with my best mate Simon. So we did a 3-week cycle course through the Netherlands, 1400 kilometers. And after that, it's been an amazing journey so far. So I've been to Scotland, England and Ireland. I've met many people from my previous trips, from 19 years, 16 years, 13 years ago, and they all welcomed me. And I can only say I'm deeply touched by everybody who did host me or even visit me or saw me. So thank you very much. You all made my trip possible, and I'm gonna do new things from my home. I have many ideas, but I don't know which one will be the continuous thing I will do. One thing is for certain: I will do my trip, but it's gonna be a while before I'm gonna start doing it again. So thank you very much for following me, liking the things I post, and big kiss, big hug, and I hope you're all do fine and well. Cheers.